In this podcast episode, Dr. Brian Keating, Chancellor's Distinguished Professor of Physics at UCSD and experimental cosmologist, discusses profound questions about the origins of the universe, the nature of consciousness, the potential existence of God, and the search for extraterrestrial life. The conversation explores what preceded the Big Bang, the scientific approach to understanding reality's fundamental operating system, and how empirical evidence shapes our grasp of these mysteries. Additionally, Dr. Keating delves into the interface between science and faith, the challenges of scientific inquiry, and the implications of recent unusual events connected to aerospace researchers. Dr. Keating emphasizes the distinction between theoretical physicists, often celebrated in public, and experimentalists who gather the concrete evidence underpinning scientific understanding. His mission is to champion a data-driven approach and to challenge even well-established theories by seeking their flaws rather than confirming pre-existing beliefs. He critiques the stagnation arising from physics's excessive reliance on abstract theories like string theory without sufficient experimental backing. A core scientific pursuit, according to him, is deciphering the operating system of reality, the fundamental laws shaping the universe, while facing the challenge that many contemporary theories lack experimental verifiability. Dr. Keating shares how his lifelong fascination with astronomy began in childhood with simple telescopes, leading to a career where he now uses advanced observatories such as the Simons Observatory to peer deep into the cosmos. This journey from the innocent awe of looking at the moon and planets to scientific observation of cosmic microwave background (CMB) radiation illustrates his connection to viewing the universe as a vast time machine. He describes the immense privilege of studying ancient light that reveals conditions billions of years in the past, and the joy of participating in this process every day. A significant part of Dr. Keating's research involves analyzing the cosmic microwave background, the remnant heat radiation from just a few 100,000 years after the Big Bang. He explains how the CMB's spectrum, intensity, and polarization provide a window into the early universe's physical and chemical conditions. In particular, polarization measurements can offer clues about fundamental physical laws such as symmetry violations or potential deviations from Einstein's relativity theory. He clarifies misconceptions regarding the Big Bang, asserting it is not the universe's beginning at time zero, but an event following a hypothesized period of inflation, a rapid expansion phase whose origins remain a mystery. Addressing the profound question of what preceded the Big Bang, Dr. Keating highlights the complexity of conceptualizing before, when time itself may have started with the Big Bang event. He invokes the analogy made by Stephen Hawking that asking about before the Big Bang is like asking what lies north of the North Pole, a question that might not have meaning within our physical framework. Nevertheless, he considers speculative models, such as a preceding collapsing universe or multiverse scenarios, while emphasizing the importance of falsifiability and empirical data in grounding such discussions rather than pure speculation. Dr. Keating openly discusses his own complex religious background, including Jewish and Irish Catholic influences, and his journey through atheism back to a mature faith perspective. He rejects dogmatic constraints, advocating for questioning and skepticism as vital to both science and religion. He distinguishes between belief and evidence, asserting that scientific truths cannot be proven absolutely, but rather must be continually tested and challenged. He frames faith not as blind acceptance, but as a personal orientation where questioning is encouraged. In his view, religious narratives can coexist with scientific inquiry if religion is understood as engaging with different kinds of meaning and purpose rather than competing with empirical science. The conversation touches on the broader search for a unified theory that can explain all physical phenomena, including quantum mechanics and gravity. Dr. Keating points out the difficulties in finding such a theory of everything, noting the fragmented nature of modern physics research and skepticism about dominant paradigms like string theory. For him, the endeavor to unify science and perhaps spirituality is akin to understanding the foundational operating system of reality. He stresses that while science seeks data and falsifiable theories, the quest also confronts deeply philosophical and sometimes theological questions about origins and existence. Dr. Keating discusses the immense size of the universe and the possibility of life beyond Earth, but urges caution to avoid overestimating likelihoods without data. He notes that despite the vast numbers of stars and potentially habitable planets, humanity has only one confirmed example of life, Earth. The search for life on nearby Mars is ongoing, but so far, no conclusive evidence exists despite past rivers and water. He explains that meteorites found on Earth, including samples originating from Mars, demonstrate the dynamic exchange of material within our solar system, making panspermia, the theory that life could be transferred between planets via rocks, a fascinating but unproven hypothesis. Ultimately, he underscores the importance of empirical evidence, while acknowledging ongoing investigations. The discussion touches on consciousness as a potentially fundamental aspect of reality, referencing phenomena such as near-death experiences, NDEs, and unexplained sensory perceptions. Dr. Keating acknowledges the validity of personal experiences, but differentiates anecdotal reports from scientifically verifiable data. He highlights confirmation bias as a significant obstacle in interpreting such phenomena and in science generally. The conversation also explores the challenges in measuring or scientifically defining consciousness, while emphasizing ongoing inquiries into its relationship with the physical universe. Dr. Keating considers the simulation hypothesis, the idea that our universe might be a computer simulation, as a speculative extension of the quest to understand reality's foundational layer. While intrigued, he views it as difficult to empirically test, lacking falsifiable predictions beyond metaphorical or philosophical value. He compares it to religious concepts of creation, noting that both invoke an unseen master simulator or creator. He stresses the need for scientific scrutiny, even in such metaphysical ideas, and cautions against accepting concepts without evidence. Addressing contemporary news of unexplained deaths and disappearances among scientists involved in sensitive nuclear and aerospace research, Dr. Keating expresses concern but urges caution against conspiracy theories. He critiques the tendency to link tragic events directly to UFO cover-ups without concrete evidence and highlights the risks of exploiting such incidents to foster mistrust and speculation. He advocates for grounded investigation and acknowledges the complex interplay between secrecy in government programs, the limits of current scientific understanding, and the widespread public fascination with unexplained phenomena. The topic of cattle mutilations, involving precise removal of animal organs with little explanation, is raised as another mysterious occurrence often attributed to extraterrestrial or secretive forces. Dr. Keating offers a scientific perspective, referencing Arthur C. Clarke's famous dictum that sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. He suggests that many unexplained phenomena could potentially be the result of unknown but earthly technologies, possibly linked to military or intelligence operations, underscoring the importance of skepticism and scientific inquiry. Throughout the episode, Dr. Keating illustrates how imagination drives scientific discovery and public engagement with complex ideas. Referencing Arthur C. Clarke's legacy and his own efforts at UCSD's Center for Human Imagination, he talks about harnessing creativity alongside rigorous evidence to explore the unknown. He humorously acknowledges the prevalence of imposter syndrome even among top scientists, recounting stories of Nobel laureates who doubted their own achievements. This blend of humility, curiosity, and open-mindedness forms the basis for an ongoing dialogue between science and culture.